signify by saying nay. No nays, so unanimous. The 5 members of the committee that are present, we are all in agreement. For our informational items, we got Brian up first in regards to the sanitary district minutes. So if you have any questions after, well, he'll give his report first. I'm getting in a hurry, so.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you guys can read in the minutes here, this particular month was pretty busy with awarding meter replacement projects, some digester cleaning that happens every year, as well as starting some design on some boiler replacements and hopefully utilizing some Ameren grants for that. So happy to take any questions.
Questions for Brian?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Our next order of business we have up for the facilities master plan. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
The updates on the county facilities, starting with the jail, we do have the trench drain. The bid has been awarded for that. The cell sink conversion is an ongoing process. The ring road is progress continuing. They are about 2/3 of the way done on the phase 1. Here at the courthouse, we have the carpet replacement in the common areas and the 402 conference room next door. Both of those bids have been awarded. The probation remodel, we're in the finalization of the plans and furniture. The Main Street steps, it is out for bid. The snack bar area, we just have to get the furnishings back into the room. The Plaza Fountain is in Terra Landscape's hands. They are doing the survey and geotechnical information. The building exterior envelope is out for bid. And the circuit clerk's order protection and the high we're also in the finalization of the plans and furniture for those. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Calvin? No questions? We'll move on. Thank you, Calvin. And our next item of business is to shut my phone off. Sorry, guys. Okay, we need the report on our capital projects and funding sources and so forth. Scott, are you going to handle that? No. Okay. Sorry.
No, you're fine. In front of you, in your packets, you have the project detail through September 12th. I know Calvin has been very busy because we've been getting a lot of RFPs, RFQs, bids, and requisitions and purchase orders coming through for all these amazing projects that we have on deck. So we've paid $10 million almost to date this year, and have another almost $9 million encumbered. So projects are moving along, and we have more to come. So if you have specific questions, just let me know.
Any questions for Heather? You guys are making it easy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. All right, we have on our agenda 2 items for resolutions and so forth to take to the board. And we need a motion to get this first one on the floor here. Motion by Danny Kelch, seconded by Sharon Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is for the salt dome roof replacement at our North Station facility. Our North Station is located south of Princeville. It's a satellite facility. It's a smaller location than our main one on Plank Road. This salt dome can hold approximately 3,500 tons of salt, and the roof has, we have some rotten wood on the roof and some bad shingles. We went out and got some bids, the low bid being J&F Cientello for $85,900. We are requesting that we use that contractor and put an additional 15% contingency for a cost of $98,785. And this, we're proposing this is going to come out of the ARPA fund. And happy to answer any questions on this.
First of all, Amy, did you say Chatella? Is that how they pronounce it?
I'm not sure. Ciatello?
What is it? Chialto. Okay. Questions on this in regard to the project? It's that salt dome out there at the north range. I call it the north range. They call it the north station. I know Danny Couch and I made a tour of it. We went out there to look at about the building that had been blown away. We knew we were going to replace that, but in looking at the salt dome, we found out that there could be some money invested there that would be worthwhile. And I know both he and I, we're very, very much in favor of doing something to the salt dome. Go ahead.
Amy, are you confident that this will be done before winter?
We want to get it under contract. We would work with them if we can get on their schedule. It is full of salt right now, but we're hoping to if we can get them out here to get it done before winter time.
Okay, thank you.
You said you already got it full of salt?
We're full of salt. We're ready to go.
Okay. I know this is not part of this, but how about our other building out there? I think Heinz is doing it, aren't they?
Yes, so the other building, we're working on the septic system this week, and we're hoping that the material will be dropped off in the next week or so.
Okay. Thanks for keeping us up on that.
Scott, did
Go ahead,
Bob
Jim.
or who reviewed this then to make sure for like life of the shingles and what we're paying for and what brand? And I mean, I'm happy with the bid and everything here, but I just want to make sure that everything was reviewed in that sense. Because I mean, you can get cheap ones, higher end ones, longer life ones.
We worked with Bob Eunice and Jim Smith in the procurement office and Jeff Gillis in our office. They worked together to review the bid because of the difference in the two proposals. So we wanted to make sure that the contractor that bid this was understanding what we wanted, so there was no problems. Good question.
Anyone else with questions for Amy?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, Amy. Let me see. I'm trying to think. Okay. In regards to the, like you said, the replacement period, the siding, will that be the same? I don't know if it's part of this bid letting or, it spoke of the siding that would be replaced.
So the wood underlayment, there's no real.
Well, it spoke of the replacing the metal, putting metal there as well, and maybe I should be on the next one as far as the Sally Port roof replacement. Let me see. I'm trying to find the page I was on, seeing it on. But it spoke of, when you see that siding that comes out at the entrance of the salt dome itself, and it spoke of the replacement of that, I'm thinking. I apologize, I misplaced the page that I was referencing. And we certainly can come back if we don't see it right now. I can look
Ms.
at it.
Duncan, you're looking on the agenda briefing just below the table where during the bid process, I've probably received some questions from prospective bidders. And
Okay.
before the bids were due, we issued an addendum that added the metal-based cap work and then the replacement of any existing vinyl siding to the entrance if it was needed.
Yes.
And so the cost for those scope items are included in the dollars that you see here.
Okay. And will it be the same material as far as,
It would,
it appears to be aluminum siding?
we would match the existing.
Okay.
You're talking about on page 21, I think, in our thing. Is that what you're talking about?
Is it 21, I believe, so I'll go there and find it.
Yeah, there's a couple of photos on page 21.
Okay,
Scott did address that particular page, yes.
all right,
Thank you.
we'll move on. If no one has any more questions, I'll call for the resolution. All those in favor signify by aye in the awarding of this project. Aye. All those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. We'll move on from this particular one to our next one, which has to do with roof replacement right here at the courthouse, and we need a motion on that by Terry, seconded by Sharon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you realize, we did have the approval to replace the roof here at the courthouse, the jail, and JTC recently. During the project at the courthouse, it had come to our attention that the roof on the Sally Port itself had been missed. So we had called Keach back in when we've realized this issue and had them do an investigation for replacement, and it was concurred that it needed replaced. At the time, the funds were not available to add to that project. So we had reached back out to Ritterford, who is a company out of Chicago who did the courthouse roof, and Western Specialties, the ones who did the jail and JDC, had them rebid or requote, and our hopes was to use the contingency money that was left over for a change order from the jail and JDC to pay for the courthouse Sally Port roof replacement. The total of that would be not to exceed $104,430. That all includes the base bid, a 30-year warranty, plus the contingency. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Questions, anyone? And it may be in here and I just missed it, but what's the length of time on it, Calvin?
Well, I'm not quite for sure. I was involved in that particular meeting. I can find out for you on, it'd probably be spring, pending weather.
Anyone else with questions? All right, I'm going to call the question on the resolution. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Ayes have it. And we'll move on to our public comment. Anyone out there with any public comment? Not you. All right, moving on to miscellaneous. Miscellaneous. Mr. Dillon.
Coach, since I walked in a couple of minutes late, I apologize, but I did miss the sanitary district one, and I got to give kudos, shout out to Mr. Johnson and his team at the most recent. I have no idea what IAWA is. He did win an award for his leadership at the sanitary district and for a high-performing organization. So it's actually a pretty fancy award, an American flag with his name and everything put on it. So his board was very proud of his leadership and management down there and sent me that picture and giving kudos to Mr. Johnson. So I wanted to make sure he was recognized.
Thank you, but I usually always read the sanitary report, but I didn't see it in here. Was it in our report, or did you just come across it somewhere?
Their former president, Mr. Gates, who's now vice president, shared with me that Mr. Johnson won that award.
Okay. Anybody else with miscellaneous?
I have one, Coach.
Thank you, Terry.
I'd like to add another feather to Mr. Johnson's cap. Chillicothe Sanitary District was facing some engineering fees of about $106,000 for some repairs at one of our pump stations. And Brian volunteered to me at one of these meetings to come out and bring his right-hand mechanical guy, talked us through the process of doing these things in-house rather than hiring an engineer, and pretty much single-handedly saved us about $106,000 up in Chillicothe. So thank you for that, Brian. The knowledge, the expertise of a huge operation here in Peoria compared to our little Chillicothe sanitary plant is it's wonderful to have it, but it's even more wonderful to have people who are willing to come out and share their expertise with us. Thanks again for doing that, Brian.
That's a very good deed. Thanks, Brian. Any more miscellaneous? Seeing no more miscellaneous, this meeting is adjourned.